I've been trying to like chill out on coffee. Not like that it's like god awful for you or anything, but I was just like just trying to take it easy and just
Mhm.
drink a lot of water. I'm going insane right now. I can't even lie to you. Like I'm really losing my shit. I've been in a bad mood all day today, and I feel like it's because like my body wants coffee. I don't know.
Did you have
Feel like
coffee in
I'm
the
on
morning?
drugs or something.
Hope you're ready for battle, you better get on the saddle. We got some demons to tackle, yeah. We about to put on a show. These haters don't even know.
Top three favorite anime characters of all time.
The Rocket Twins from Pokemon. Yeah, you would have to use your mouth.
I don't know what's going on with Big Radiohead today. Cody asks, I watched last week's episode, but I couldn't stop focusing on that nasty red spot above Anthony's eye.
Yeah.
When you come to the ring, which song do we got?
Think of a song. Oh, of a song. A song.
Oh my god. All right, you're not doing that to the ring. Are there any games out there that represent your life, like something you can relate to? It's the most depressing game, Elden Ring. I could probably relate. I could probably relate to Kaylin. Yeah, Kaylin in Elden Ring, that whole area. I relate to all of that.
Anthony has anxiety.
That whole thing is great. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the world's greatest junk mail podcast. Even if it is the only Junk Mail Tuesday podcast. I am your gracious and humble host, Anthony Streams. I am with the lovely, amazing Pink Radiohead, who just for some reason keeps coming back here, even though she's not getting paid.
Yeah,
But
don't
she's here.
mention it, or I'm gonna get
Okay, yeah.
angry.
Let's not mention it again. Yeah, let's not mention it again. Because I got millions of dollars I could be paying out to
Right.
people here on the podcast.
Right.
We're I'm broke too. We're doing this thing here where we take junk mail questions from people in the Discord who sometimes put questions in there. And I take questions from YouTube comments and IG messages and Twitter messages. So if you're on any of that, you can shoot me a message and you will be on the next episode with your question that we're gonna answer it. Right now, we are starting a new thing. We are live on Twitch. So if you're listening on YouTube and you want to hang out with us live, we do this every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we got a good amount of questions here we're gonna ask. Um, so if you're listening to this right now, if you're in Discord, excuse me, Twitch or YouTube, uh, leave comments in either the Discord or the YouTube comments, or like I said, you can reach out to me on any other social media platform. I'm Anthony Streams on everything, and I'll have your question in the next time. But for now, Pink, how was your weekend?
I'm trying to think what my weekend was right now. I think
I got a few things if you want to think about it.
this feels like a junk mail Tuesday question, which is
It is. It's my junk mail Tuesday
it
question to
is
you.
junk mail Tuesday.
I got I got over the weekend, I have this weird situation happening right now, which is where like I haven't been into like sports games since like high school. And um I've spoken before about just having zero time to do like to sit down and watch sports for the most part. But playoffs start usually in any sport. I kind of tune in a little bit because like the games mean more and there's like not 82 games going on. So like I've kind of been watching football and I never thought I'd get into Madden, but they have not the current Madden, but the last one. They have it on Game Pass. And so I was like, oh, that's cool. I would never pay for Madden again. But I didn't realize I'd get this addicted to Madden. I've went through an entire season on it and I'm starting my second season and it's weird because I like usually I'm not into this. So I don't know. I have this weird sports thing like coming back. I even wore my Portland Trailblazers hoodie. Like I don't know. I'm feeling sporty lately. I don't. Something's changing. I'm 18 again.
Sounds more like you're getting older. Like all those
Mm,
like beer dads that have like the big belly and they just watch
yeah. Okay.
sports and
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
think they know so much and all that stuff. But
Oh. Wow. Well, thank you.
I
for that.
actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because I don't watch football, and I know you asked me last time if I think when we were playing Fortnite, that if I watched any sports. I don't, but I think I said that I used to watch a lot of soccer, which is the real football to me. Um, but what's it called? I was at my parents' house, I believe, Sunday when the Dolphins were playing against Kansas.
Okay.
And my dad was like,
Yes.
let me watch the game. I'm like, okay. I didn't care because I was crocheting. So,
Uh-huh.
but like, all I did was all of a sudden I started yelling, defense, defense, just to mess with my dad. And he thought that I
Yeah.
was for real. And he's like, you see that? You see that? I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I feel
Nice.
bad that I baited my dad a little bit there, but yeah.
Oh my god, me and Pink are getting into our new eras, and it's
Mm-mm.
gonna be sports. So next we're doing a sports podcast. It has to
No,
happen.
dude. No, dude. I was crocheting. Like, I did not care. I just remember my dad telling me, like, look at that guy. Look at the guy. Like, his mustache is frozen. I'm like, oh, yeah, it is. Okay, cool.
That did happen. That did happen. It was negative 30 degrees in Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
So like or -3, I believe is what it was, but the feel like was like -30 or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good time. Last thing for me over my weekend, I have something else kind of interesting to say. I started a game called Hellblade, the first one,
Yeah.
because at the
Cinema
Game
Hills Way,
Awards,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I seen at the Game Awards, I seen the trailer for Hellblade 2, and that was kind of one of the only things that kind of got my attention. So I was like, let me play the first one. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
I started it. I don't really know. First, I'll just ask you, have you played it at all?
I started Hellblade. Yes, I have not finished it, but I was definitely like going through it, and it was something that I wanted to actually replay. So I'm ready for Hellblade 2.
Okay. All right. I got thoughts. Not like educated thoughts or anything because I literally didn't get very far at all. I started the game, and it starts with you in like the canoe, just like down the river. And there's just all these voices. So I have the headset on, and I'm like, okay, this is getting dark like really quick. I don't know what's happening, but like all the voices in my ear is like freaking me the fuck out. So I'm playing, and I'm like, oh my god, something's gonna jump out from somewhere. I'm like stressing hard. I'm like, I knew this was like demons and shit. That doesn't bother me, but I was
Mm.
like, I think this is horror demons. Like I think something's gonna jump out this water at me. So I'm like freaking out. And it's just like nonstop, oh, you're gonna die, you're going to hell. Just all these different voices. I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking flipping out. I finally get to land and I'm walking and I'm just stressing because there's just like dead bodies, like impaired on these like poles. I'm just like, oh god, this is gonna
Mm.
get bad like quick. Um, so I was literally stressing out. The good news to it was I didn't get very far because as soon as you get to the land, guys, this had to been like would Pink like maybe 5 minutes into the game. It's not that long at all, like maybe 5 minutes into the game. I walk into like this area that they want you to go into, and there's a door, the first door that you find in the game. I walk up to it. I have zero idea how to open this door. And I'm just like, wait, what's happening? I think you have to hold like L2 and like things light blue or something. And I'm like pushing into it and it's just making a sound. It's not opening. And it's like, I have no idea how to open this door. And it's probably for the best because when we got to the land, somebody said, you're going to die. So I
Okay,
don't know. That's been my playthrough.
just keep playing. Also, by the way, that game was recognized because it's actually talking about or touching on a mental health issue with the
Mhm.
psychosis. Or a psychotic episode, I believe. So, obviously, I don't have all the details, but I definitely recommend that you search about it. Because it's one of those games that actually is trying to bring some like mental health awareness while also like
Mhm.
being having a great narrative and just good combating gameplay. So yeah,
I knew
continue.
there had to have been some mental health related to it because in the very beginning when which I thought was really cool when she's rolling down the boat, it's almost like a movie where they show like the credits in the very beginning. and it said they gave a credit, and I'm sorry, y'all know my memory is bad, so I apologize to who the guy was, but they had like the credit for a mental health guy. Once again, I forgot the label that they gave him, but he got a credit at the beginning. I was like, oh, there must be some mental health stuff related to this because they gave him credit in the beginning of this. So I'm excited to get back in. I just thought it was funny. I couldn't open the door. The hardest thing in the game for me so far has been I can't open this fucking door. I don't know how to open it, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to get back on and figure out how to open the door. It's the dumbest shit I've ever had to say.
Is it though?
Probably not.
Yeah.
All right, let's get let's speaking of dumb shit. Let's get to y'all's questions. No, that's a joke. That's a joke. All right. First off, we got Trey. Thank you, Trey. This came from the Discord. Trey said, "Is love a choice or a feeling you can't control?"
Oh boy, that's a loaded one because I think,
Yeah.
I think love is normally confused with being like, what's that word? Enamored with someone, kind of like infatuation. And I think that's what people confuse with love a lot of times, that they say like, oh, I cannot control it. Well, yeah, you can control it. I think loving doesn't mean that you're obsessive, and I think that's when you put like that, oh, I can't control how I feel for someone. I mean, I know your feelings are valid and that's your feelings. However, like it depends on what that entails, right? Like, oh, like, I can't control like constantly and incessantly like thinking about this person and obsessively like checking on them. That's probably a little bit of lack of self-love to be honest. So also obviously it depends on what type of love we're talking about here. I'm guessing that's romantic love because of the way that the question was phrased. But I do think there's a decision, right? Like I feel like you can love someone but still have boundaries, and I think that's what actually is love, while loving others, but while also loving yourself. And I know I'm not directly answering the question. It's just think like there's a little bit of both, right? Like sometimes it's you cannot help loving someone, but that doesn't mean that you obsess over them and you keep them in your life if they're not the right person for you. If that answers the question, maybe I can
Yeah.
talk more
No, I think
about
you're
it,
onto
but
something.
yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely onto something. I think. Ooh, this is hard. This is hard for me because I don't know. Um. Sometimes I don't know. So like what I want to say sometimes I feel like isn't love because I know of people who like will get married or be with somebody because like financially it helps the two or there's kids involved. So it's just kind of like, oh, we messed up, had a kid. I'm sorry, I don't mean to use the word messed up, but like we had an unplanned child. That was a fuck up, my bad, y'all. And then just kind of like force yourselves to be together. But then again, like, is that love? Like I
No.
yeah, so I don't know. It's hard to
It depends on how it
it's hard
goes,
to
I
answer
think.
this.
I think that's
Yeah.
why like I added like that tint to it. I think it's you can actually, love someone, right? And decide to be with
Mhm.
them. That doesn't mean that you like literally love everything about them. However, you respect them as a person. You will still call them out on their bullshit respectfully.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think in this case, let's say that they had an unplanned kid, and they do decide to marry because of you know whatever. I don't know why people would do that nowadays. Like that's not something like it's not the old times. Like that marriage, like
Mhm.
what's it called? Babies out of marriage happen all the time. But I know that some people are more traditional and stuff like that. But in this case, right, like, if there was something like love prior to that commitment of having a kid, I think it's about, okay, so we do decide to get married. Like, now it's just actually deciding to be with each other for this kid that we're gonna mutually love, and we're gonna keep a respectful environment and a respectful home for that kid so they can grow with self-love and a lot of self-esteem and all those things. I think that's also love, right? Like the thing is that we are too used to the concepts of in Hollywood. Like when you start watching movies and stuff like that, we're too used to rom-coms where the only part that you tend to see is like the beginning of the relationship where people are infatuated and they're like, oh my God, everything's so beautiful, everything's so romantic. And I think people confuse that with love, and that if that's not present at a moment in time, then there's no more love. That doesn't mean that there's no more love, but there's definitely work to do in the sense of like what each person wants in the relationship. But I think it definitely goes back to understanding that that self-love part cannot be away from the love that you feel for a person. I don't know if that makes sense in the way that I phrased it, but yeah, this is very deep.
It is. It is. And it's very hard to answer because love can come like a million different ways depending on every other person. So like it's love is always a hard thing to answer because people love in all kind of different ways that others don't. So I don't know. I mean, there you go. There's my answer for you, Trey. I don't know, but Pink gave you a really good. She gave you a really good one. What she said, I agree with that. So that's our answer from the Junk Mail crew. She's here to save me from questions like that. All right. Speaking of saving, C-Tom needs some saving in this next question.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I don't know if that's true, but do you think the new Nintendo Switch will actually drop this year? And if so, do you think it will be called the Switch 2? I'll start with this one. This like Nintendo has never called something like part 2 to anything, which would be a first for that. Like they've had like the
I
Wii
don't-
and the Wii U, but not Wii 2.
I don't think they're gonna call it the Switch 2, to be honest.
Me neither. Yeah, me neither.
And is the promise date this year?
No, they didn't. There's leaks that came out that say it's supposed to come out this year, and everybody's speculating. If you listen to like the experts in the gaming
November, maybe?
world, like yeah, everybody's saying that it should drop this year for sure. Like everybody's leaning in towards it's coming out this year. Do you believe that's going to happen? Nintendo has not said that. That's all reports. The question is, do you think it'll actually come out this year?
I don't know. To be honest, like I
Mm.
don't have an answer for that. I just know that I just don't know. I just don't think it's gonna be Switch 2. I think that's very weak marketing. Especially since they
Yeah.
already have like the Switch LED. So
I'll take a guess. I'll say
Switcheroo.
hmm.
Switch Tendo.
Yeah. I'll say no, I'm not gonna guess the name. I'll guess the switcheroo. Please don't. I'll guess if it comes out this year. I'll say yeah. I'll say maybe we get an announcement in like January, February, March, April.
I
I'll say
usually
like
think they come
April.
around the fall. I feel like these announcements usually come around the fall, but that's what I think.
Yeah.
Announcement in
I'll go
release.
yeah, I'll stand on a ledge. I'll say they'll come out in April and announce it to come out in November. That's what I'm gonna say. Could be completely wrong in that. I know nothing about Nintendo's history or when they announce things or nothing, but just to answer your question, yeah, I'll say April, and they're gonna in April say it's gonna be out in November. There we go.
Cool.
There's my
November.
guess.
Well, I said November 1st, so you stole that from me.
Did you? Okay. Okay. All right. Let's jump to breed. What is your favorite console of all time?
Nintendo 64.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Any specific reasons why? Or you just want to say 64?
Are you
and
kidding
move
me?
on?
Do you really think I have to answer that?
It's-
Oh, wait, actually, I do have to answer that because then I can take the opportunity to throw shade at you, right? Like,
Yes.
I
Yeah,
mean,
what's up?
well,
What we
I
got?
have already mentioned like playing a lot of Mario Kart and Mario Party with my
Mhm.
cousins and those being great moments, but also like my favorite game because of sentimental reasons is Zelda Ocarina of Time, which at that time was also classified as like the greatest game of all time. At that time, you know, it is one of the greatest games for me. But yeah, Ocarina of Time. And I wanted to mention that there's gonna be a stream with Anthony, where I'm gonna get to
Mhm.
do what you all wanted to do in the chat, where I'm gonna be able to kind of like roast him while he's playing it, and coach him maybe and help him out a little bit because everyone was trying to help him out. Obviously he was driving us crazy a little bit. But Anthony said, or apparently forgot already what game he was playing that day,
I
and
did.
he was like, "Wait, is that part of the expansion?" I'm like,
I couldn't find it. Okay, so we are playing Wednesday night. We're playing Ocarina of Time together. That'll be Wednesday night. I couldn't find the game. I was scrolling through the 64 stuff. I was like, where is Ocarina of Time? I also thought the day I was playing Ocarina of Time on stream, I thought I was playing Link to the Past. Was that not right? I didn't know we started
"Of
Ocarina of
course it's
Time.
not right." And I remember telling you to start with Ocarina of Time, and you went and played Ocarina of Time. You even got an Ocarina at the end. Like, what the heck, dude?
Well, I found it. I found it on the 64. We'll be good to play. I'll be ready.
Yeah,
I'll
the
be ready. Are we gonna start from the
expansion.
beginning or
The expansion to some other game, by the way.
are we gonna
One
are
of
we
the
gonna start from the
greatest,
beginning
one
or
of the greatest games. No, I'm not watching you do the Deku Tree again.
oh
Like,
okay.
I
All right,
am
good.
literally not watching you do that again. That was painful.
Okay, then
You better
we'll just watch
practice.
from we'll just start from where we left off then. Sounds like a good
Yeah,
good
good.
idea. Um okay, you said 64. Mine's a PS2. I do have a 64 behind me though, and I love Nintendo 64. So that'd probably be like it'd definitely be in my top 5. I love the 64. The PS2 was my favorite game console, excuse me. My favorite console. And then I don't know, Switch might be my number 2, honestly. So PS2 and Nintendo Switch. Those are I'll give you two of them. My number 1 is PS2 and my number 2 is the Nintendo Switch. All right. On to Drake, who said, "What are some things that are just stupidly overpriced that you notice while grocery shopping?"
Mangoes.
Mm.
Avocados and mango. I mean, it's not that expensive to be honest. No, no. Avocados are not that bad. But I think $3 a mango is too much. There's other things that I saw that were like $7 last time, but honestly, I cannot remember what they were. Um, Peanut butter sometimes is too expensive. Like the one that is just peanuts and salt for the people who want to be healthy.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like everything is extremely overpriced nowadays. To be honest, eggs were very overpriced.
Yeah, I get these things called think bars, and when I first found them, it's supposed to be like a better snack option with less sugar and all that kind of stuff. Um, so I was getting those, and I was getting them for like $7. Today, this was back in like 2018 when I found these. Today, they went from $7 to $10 boxes, and I was just like, "Sheesh." Pistachios, any kind of nuts, pistachios, and cashews. Oh my god, they're expensive. Jerky has kinda always been expensive, but that's stupidly overpriced too. I'm also not a big jerky guy like I used to be when I was younger. I just don't really care about it that much anymore anyways. But from what I buy at the store that kinda hurts me is the nuts. Just cashews and pistachios
It
are
hurts you the
whew.
nuts.
Yeah. All right. What are we doing here, Pink?
I mean, you always mess up whatever I'm talking about, like Kirby balls the other day. So you
Yeah,
literally
what
just walked yourself into that one with the nuts. I'm sorry.
if y'all know the amount of times in my childish brain that I say that's what she says to a lot of what Pink says, and I control it. I control myself. I just say
You
it in
think
my
I
head
don't
and I get a
know?
little laugh.
Well, I don't know. I actually don't know. I actually don't know. I actually don't know. I don't notice it until I notice it. You know what I mean?
I said it. We was playing Fortnite last week, and it did slip out when she said something else, and I got it. That's what she said out. I was like, damn, didn't keep that one in my brain, but I
What
think it
did
went
I?
unnoticed.
When did that happen?
I don't remember what it was. It was during Fortnite. Something I don't remember. Something somewhere. You were on a rant about something, and I was like, "Yeah, that's what she said," and just kind of went on.
I probably didn't even like notice. I probably was like, yeah, that's what she said. Yeah.
Yeah. uh, all right. Speaking of what she said, let's go to Mike. What is the most dangerous animal you ever encountered in real life?
Mm,
Have you ever encountered an animal in real life that was super dangerous?
yeah,
I did a
rattlesnakes.
snake. Yeah, oh, snake was mine too.
I also have seen. Um, why did my brain go black? Back, blank. There we go. Blank. uh,
God damn. I'm about to ask you the most Florida question ever too.
alligators? No, I haven't seen alligators here. Surprisingly, probably because I don't leave my house. No, actually like tarantula, but I don't know if tarantulas are actually dangerous. But like I've seen like a big ass tarantula in my home in Venezuela. Remember, you were talking about Florida, but I grew up in Venezuela, and I grew up in
Yeah,
a state that is very like surrounded by jungle. So that's where I saw a
right.
rattlesnake. That's also where
I
I
didn't want to
saw
say that.
a tarantula. I also saw actually more dangerous than the rattlesnake. That was far away. Actually,
Mhm.
very scared because there was a bunch of kids like looking at it around and like yeah, and like I'm like leave the
Yeah.
freaking snake alone. There was
Well,
there was an actual venomous snake in my house once. It was like black and red, and one of the most deathly
Mhm.
ones. I think it's called like coraline or coral. I've seen that one. And then in Yosemite, I wouldn't say it's the most dangerous because the dude was chilling. I saw a lynx.
Okay. And to be fair for me, I didn't want to say, well, you grew up in Venezuela. It was the most dangerous. Like Florida felt like more of a safe American answer that was going to be okay. I did
Oh,
just throw it out. Yeah, Venezuela has dangerous animals. Would you encounter?
well, if you know where I'm from, then you kind of like probably know that I live that there's animal there. Like, but if you say like
Mhm.
if I were from Caracas, then I don't feel like it would make much sense to say that.
Yeah.
But I'm actually from like south center of the country, so it's the state that has like all the like the the Angel Falls that are peering up the
Hmm.
movie Up. That's actually
Hmm.
from my state. I've never been, but I had a lot of nature reserves around my area, and actually
Oh, that's cool.
my school was very large, and it had a lot of open spaces. And then when we were eating breakfast, like you would take your breakfast with you and stuff like that. There were monkeys that used to come from like a natural reserve that was near the school, and they would come over and steal our breakfast from our hands sometimes, like not didn't
Right.
happen to me because I never ate at school, but other kids did. So like the food was being stolen from
Yeah.
their hands by monkeys.
Why can I relate to never ate at school? Um, let me see. Whew. I've run into snakes a bunch of times. I've said before on stream. I don't know if I said it here, but I used to work on power lines. I was a lineman, and we would have to go. Part of the job was to read people's electric meter on the back of your houses or wherever you have it at your house. I'd have to walk up to everybody's house and read those meters. So sometimes I would encounter snakes in their yard. There's also a lot of people with dogs that weren't the safest. That was always kind of scary. Um, I had a bat, which I guess would only be dangerous if it had rabies, and I don't know if it did or not. But there was a bat that used to, because I lived in a garage apartment. So, like, for those who don't know what a apartment is, it's like really tall. It's usually in the back of somebody's house. Like, mine was behind my uncle's house. It came with it, and he let me stay up there for a while. So it was like it's like a garage basically, and then to the right are some steps, and you'd go up, and then you're upstairs is like a little house inside. But going up them stairs, the ceiling is very high. So a bat would always come flying in and go up to the top and just sit up there. So coming home from work, I would be so terrified that I'm gonna walk up the steps and it's gonna fly down at me. Like, so I don't know if it was dangerous because I don't know if it had rabies or anything like that. But I mean, a bat could be dangerous. I
No,
don't. Do they bite? Do you know? Do they bite? Just
they're
regular? Just
they don't bite humans. They literally just eat fruit and insects.
even if it's rabies?
I mean, it could if you bother them, it could bite you and it could have
Oh,
rabies.
okay.
But like,
Yeah.
I also want to say something that I heard someone said, and it made me so mad about raccoons.
Oh.
They were like, "Oh yeah, because all raccoons have rabies." I'm like, "No, they don't. The ones that have rabies have rabies. The ones that don't are the
Yeah.
majority of them that don't. Like, is it very like common? Yeah, they're wild animals. There's a lot of rabies, and this is why when you find an animal with rabies, you have to report it because then that way they don't spread the rabies. But like, can we please just stop spreading misinformation about animals because this is what creates a lot of people killing animals for no reason. So yeah, sorry, I just needed to say that.
Very good. I didn't even know raccoons and rabies was a thing. I've never even heard that.
Well,
So
yeah,
I'm
I
learning.
heard someone who was higher educated, I post higher education and everything say that to me, and I'm like, why would you say that? And to me, out of
Mm.
all people, I'm glad I'm here
Well,
though to
rabies.
tell you that that's not how it works.
Yeah, and there's not any animal out there, is there? That's just complete rabies. For those watching on YouTube, we just got a resub from Laguna Guna. Hi, welcome in. Thank you for that resub. Um, there's usually not any animal that's like linked to every and like right rabies isn't specific to one
Yeah,
animal is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, it
Yeah, okay,
isn't.
yeah. Yeah, that's a really weird thing. It's a really weird thing to say,
You
to
know,
be
it's like,
honest.
and I know this is off topic, but like, there's a very weird saying or belief, and I believe Mexico is very predominant for that. But in Latin America, it exists a lot because I heard my grandparents say it. That owls like singing in your house at night means that someone's gonna die. So some people
Whoa.
actually kill the owls because they think that that's gonna prevent the bad omen from happening and is gonna prevent for whoever who is dying to die. Like, don't you think that's the stupidest shit ever? Like, if someone's going to die,
Mhm.
they're going to die regardless of that owl singing in your, in your
Yeah,
tree at
yeah,
night. Like,
100%.
please
Yeah,
stop killing owls for those stupid traditions that make no sense, and they
yeah.
were there for a reason at some point. But, bruh,
That's really I don't know. That's really weird. People find stupid reasons to go out and just start killing animals. But all right, this is all news to me. I didn't know owls sing when you die, allegedly. I didn't know about raccoons being linked to rabies. This is all new.
don't.
I've
They're
always heard
not.
about
They are
bats.
not. So don't know. They're not. But they are.
Yeah.
It can happen, of course. But yeah.
Yeah, I just meant like I never heard the conspiracy theory was all I was saying. I didn't like I never heard that theory that they were. I've always heard about you got to be careful with bats because they carry rabies, but I've never even heard that every bat flying around has rabies. They just they'd always just just kind of
You
be
gotta be
careful.
careful with any animal that's not vaccinated for rabies. You know,
Hmm.
just like you
Yeah,
have to be careful with every single human that can kill you when you go outside.
yeah. Some people are walking around giving people AIDS.
Humans are. I feel like that shouldn't even be said. That is so.
What AIDS? Oh, all right, we just all right. We'll
What
just
are
move to
we
the
in the
next.
80s? Like, hello?
I don't know. It was a perfect opportunity to get a joke off.
That is not a joke. I'm sorry.
All right, we'll just jump to the next question. Here we go. P. Stevie said, "Oh, that's actually a good one. I want to say that for last." Shelby says, "People say never." Oh, these are both good. Okay, we got two good last ones. We'll go with Shelby. Shelby says, "People say never, but what are some things you were saying never to?"
That joke that you just said. Anthony feeling really awkward right now. But yeah, that's what I'm saying never to. Never say that.
All right. For me, what is something I would never? I said I would never say. No, I said I would never go back to working in the food industry, and I'm gonna stand by it. I would never work at a fast food restaurant or anything like that again. I've done it twice, and I would never, ever do it again.
Yeah, like I cannot say that I would never work retail again because times are hard. So if I need to take a job on retail, I'm probably gonna have to take a job on retail until I can find my next role, you know. But like I said, never to that joke. And I don't know. What can I say? Never to. Never to cocaine or hard drugs.
Yeah, those are those are really good options actually to never do. All right, final one here is from PCB. This one's really good actually. What would be scarier, being at the bottom of the ocean for 24 hours or being in space for 24 hours? In this scenario, you cannot die by lack of oxygen. So, I guess like we can add you could die by things that are either in space or underwater just to make this a little more interesting. Would you be more terrified living in space or underwater if the only like you could die from anything but oxygen? You're going to live breathing wherever you are.
I feel like I am terrified of the ocean.
I
Like,
am 100%.
so I think I don't know where is it that I read that we actually know a little bit. Okay, don't quote me on this, but I think we know more about space than what we. No, that makes no sense because the space and the universe is so large.
I've
But
heard
like,
that
but
quote though. I just don't believe it. But that quote you're about to say is a real quote.
yeah, it is, but like there's actually a very small percentage that we actually know of the ocean.
Yeah.
Like we haven't
Yeah.
really fully explored the ocean, and like that's why we continuously find new creatures. I'm not saying that because it's unknown it's more dangerous, but also because it is unknown it is more dangerous because like, you know, like we usually fear the unknown, and I think space not space, like the ocean is actually the ocean is actually really scary to me. I used to have dreams
Mhm.
with water. I still have dreams with water, even without being underwater. Like I still feel like water is like taking me over, and like, you know, I get like surrounded by water and I get really scared. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm a witch. I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
I think I'm more scared of
Um
the ocean. Yeah.
my answer is ocean too. One of the things that terrified me, I got like super anxiety about was when the people who got into that submersible and went underwater and never came back up.
Oh.
That stressed me until they said that they think that it just imploded instantly. The thought of them being down there and like when they first thought like they still have this much oxygen left and things like that, and they're trying to find them. I'm like, oh my God. Like I was getting anxiety. I was like, I would be freaking out if I was at the bottom of that and just, uh yeah, the ocean, I don't play about the ocean. I think I told this story on here actually about going to Galveston Beach and I was playing underwater and I went too far out and I got back up and I couldn't find land. I think ever since then, I don't play about the ocean. If I go to the beach, I stay near the sand. I don't go deep out into the ocean no more. I'm terrified of it.
I
I
think
feel like you're at least like likely to find anything in space, to be honest.
I think I've told a story on the podcast about how I feel like I almost died in the ocean or like in the sea, and then my entire family just laughed at me instead of actually helping me out
Yeah,
with one
that
wave.
usually
Yeah.
that usually happens.
Yeah.
That usually happens. I told my family I was scared of grasshoppers, and they started throwing them at me. So it's
Bro,
usually
why?
usually it's usually how it goes. Why am I scared, or why did they throw it at me?
No, why are family like that? Like,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
we're just
yeah,
gonna cause trauma on you, but you know, don't worry about it.
yeah.
That happened to me too. I have no trauma.
That is usually how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we went through all the questions already. Y'all don't
Woo!
forget to leave what?
Woo!
Oh, I thought you did that like we had forgot one.
No, I don't know.
Before we go, if anybody in the Twitch chat, I'll be while we're saying goodbye. If anybody in the Twitch chat has a question you want to ask for Junk Mail, I'll allow y'all to get them in here at the end of the podcast. But for those listening on YouTube, don't forget to, if you want to watch us live on Twitch, we're over on Twitch at Anthony Streams. That's with two Z's, like on the thing right here. Oh, that actually worked. Okay, yeah, that. And then uh you can join the Discord, things like that. If you're in the Discord, make sure you go add questions to the Junk Mail Tuesday section because we need more questions. We're running low on them here, so y'all make sure y'all go put some in there. Um
What is
BD says I didn't ask your joke question because it's not gonna get a. It was a joke question that I feel like you have to have seen the entire conversation to get. I think it had something to do with the. I don't even remember. I think it had something to do with the question about the love, and you said, "What does love have to do with it?" Was that the question?
what
The
is
joke
love?
question?
Maybe don't hurt me.
Yeah. There's the answer right there.
Is that it?
That was that was the answer to the joke question. All right, with that, we are out of here. I am Anthony Stream. She's Pink Radiohead. Pink, you want to take us out of here?
Oh, but why though? Bye.
Because we do it every podcast. All right.
Wrong song. It's the second time I get that told.
That's what I thought it was when he was singing it. I mean, when he put it in the when he was singing it, when he put it in the Discord, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, a friend just told me that one time told me also it was the wrong song. I mean, he sent me a song like I don't remember if it was like a K-pop group singing "What Is Love" and it was very childish, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. Whitney Houston, what does love have? Oh, that's because I said the wrong song. Oh, okay. So what does love have to do with it?
Oh, I
There
see.
we
I
go.
see. I don't know that song either. I mean, I know Whitney Houston, but I don't think I could be able to like remember the lyrics or sing it or melody or anything right now.
What's love got to do with it? Got
Oh
to
yeah,
do with
I know
it.
it. I know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Good job, Anthony.
Thank you. Look, I did something right here. All right. I don't know what we're gonna do the rest of the night. What do you